All right, Mulligans and Hackers Golf podcast episode 65.
65.
A Mickelson recap.
Mickelson National Recap.
Yeah,
Alberta Golf Tour. Event number 3 for us.
yes. So, as you guys know, we attended this event last week on Tuesday. And we were super excited for it as this is
Pumped.
course that the man himself, Phil Mickelson, had a hand in designing.
Yep.
And we were pretty pumped to get out there and play. So, yeah. So where do you want to start?
Where do you want to start? Let's start with our trip up, I guess.
Okay. So we left on
Monday.
Yeah, we left Monday morning.
Monday morning, and
yep.
We hit Strathmore on the way up because we had a courtesy round at Strathmore Golf Course.
Yes.
From previous Strathmore rain out.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to that too. So we went and played around at Strathmore. Jake came in, and a friend of his came and played. We had a foursome there, and it was really nice to play with Jake because we haven't played with him. I haven't played with him much this year.
Yeah, neither have I, really.
So it was nice to get out and have a round with Jake. He is coming down for the Halo tournament coming up.
Yep.
So that's cool. And we played from the tees that we were supposed to play from the tournament.
Correct.
So
Correct.
Kind of the hybrid blue-yellow?
Blue-white.
Blue-white? White-yellow?
Blue.
From the hybrid tees.
Yeah. It was blue-white or something. Yeah, no, it was blue-white. Hybrid blue-white.
We would have played.
Yeah. And, blue-white hybrid. So we played from those. Definitely a different go-around this time. I was just kind of out there having some fun. I really wasn't locked in or focused the way I was when we played that day at Strathmore, for the Strathmore event. And I mean, we didn't get to play the Island Green because they had the Island Green closed that day. I mean, thankfully we got to play it last time, but
and I birdied it last time, which I did not do this time.
yeah, it was kind of an up and down card, I think, for everybody.
Yeah, it was just a fun round to go out and just get some swings in.
Yep.
With a good crew, and I wasn't really expecting to get anything out of that round. I think I only had one par on the day. Everything else was bogeys and doubles. I don't think I got two out of hand with one. I had a couple of doubles, but everything else was bogeys and two pars. Oh yeah, I shot a 90, so I had two pars, two double bogeys, and 14 bogeys.
Yeah.
So that was my day at Strathmore. And again, nice little course. I'll tell you what. Let's say this before we get too deep. The vibe at Strathmore, one of the coolest vibes on a golf course that you can go to that I've been to. The cart guy, the starter, the kids in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
There was just a different vibe. They were so relaxed, so chill. The starter was telling jokes about my ginger pal here. That was fantastic.
Yeah. Well, and then you got the rodeo in the background because there was a rodeo going on that day, right? Championship Monday.
So that was literally like that followed us the entire course.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
So it's
a really good round. I enjoyed it. I'd go play that course again without hesitation.
Yeah.
I shot 45 on the front, 45 on the back for a 90.
Yeah, and I finished with I can't remember where I shot on the front or the back, but I finished with a 89. I mean, it was kind of up and down. I didn't putt well, which no surprise out there because they got hoppy greens, and I dislike greens that are like that. But anyways, it was a fun round. Got to go out there and play with Jake. I mean, I broke 90, so that's all I really cared about. Like I said before, I really wasn't locked in. Like I wasn't really taking as much time as I would normally take on some shots and different things. But we were having fun.
We were having fun, and it was nice to go and have a fun round.
Absolutely.
So then we leave Strathmore. We head into Calgary.
Yep.
Hit our hotel. Grab some grub. Get back to the hotel. We work on some putting.
Yep.
In the hotel, and I
mean, you've probably seen that video on our socials.
Yeah, I changed my putter grip a little bit when we were there working on some stuff.
Yeah,
a little bit more comfortable.
I was helping Alvin out a little bit on the putting side because I tend to be a little bit stronger than him there, and we were trying to sort some things out for him.
Yeah, I went away from the claw grip and went more to two thumb on the top of the grip type of grip with right hand low. Really liked how it felt. so much so that I used it at Mickelson National the next day. But so we're in the hotel. We're watching the Hlinka Gretzky
opening night game.
Opening night game against Switzerland. We're doing some putting, and then the rain starts.
Well, no, then there was a thunderstorm warning that comes across the TV.
Okay, yes, that was the thunderstorm, and it's like, okay, maybe we'll get something, right?
Yeah.
But holy fuck, did it start? Did the skies open up?
Well,
holy shit!
You looked out that window and it was black, right?
It was literally black. Like, I mean, even the street lights weren't doing justice to get any light out on the parking lots or anything, and the hail warnings were there about baseball size or golf ball size hail,
which is terrifying,
which is frightening. And part of Calgary got it.
Yeah, and Strathmore.
So the Calgary airport had their glass ceiling caved in, and they took on a little bit of water at the airport there. We were spared the hail, but boy, did we get rain, and it was intense for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And it rained pretty much throughout the night, right?
Yeah, pretty well all night. And then by the morning, it was kind of starting to dry up a little bit, like at the hotel. But it had basically rained all night.
It was still kind of misty when we went to the parking lot.
Yeah,
to get into the
and I mean, Mickelson's a good 15-20 minutes away from where our hotel was, so it's further off to the west, or to the northwest. So we got in the car and we head out that way, and it's a little foggy, a little misty.
Yeah.
So we follow the GPS there, and she's raining when we get there.
We pull into the parking lot. We posted a video on that as well. And pulled into the parking lot, and it was raining.
Yep.
And it was raining decent, not terrible, but it was wet.
Yeah, I think our tee time was at 9, and I think we were there right around 7 or just after 7. And I mean, we're like, well, it's raining, whatever. We got 2 hours before our shotgun starts, so we should be okay.
So we pull in Mickelson National. I'm going to say, is posh the right word? Because when we pulled into the parking lot and walked up over those steps and saw the clubhouse, that is one of the most elite clubhouses I have ever seen.
It's pretty nice.
Nice. I mean, I don't want to be disparaging here, but their halfway house was better than most clubhouses we have in Medicine Hat.
Yeah, it's true. They're like
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Their two halfway houses were friggin' nice.
I mean, you go into, and again, I don't want to be disparaging here because we like to play golf, but went into the bathroom at the halfway houses and there was like no shadows in the bathroom. There was warm lighting everywhere. The only thing that was missing is somebody in there dingling your balls when you pissed. And it was so next level to anything that we haven't been in golf a long time. Let's get that straight. But that was a next level golf course clubhouse experience.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, you walk up and it's like, wow. Like this is a different, and they had the what was the facility across the street?
The launch pad.
The launch pad across the street, which is part of the course, which we went over to the launch pad, and again, you show up to the launch pad, and it's those little tailor-made golf bags
full of balls,
full of Pro V1s and TP5s, right?
Yeah.
You're hitting top quality balls at the driving range, and
so the launch pads are driving range, and they're inside of it they have their simulator type golf and
kind of
different
workout
things, right?
facility type thing.
Yeah.
So go over there, hit some balls. I went in and looked around the clubhouse and took that in.
I just want to say they have an 18-hole putting course on their little putting green over at the launch pad. It's called the Bowl. It's friggin' awesome. That is the coolest thing ever.
I didn't get a chance to go there because we wanted to hit some balls.
Yeah.
I actually got a good range session in that morning, even though it was a little wet.
Yeah.
Went back, met up with some people. People start showing up then, and met some people that we've seen on tour before, and I had a great conversation, and then we head out to our shotgun tees.
Well, we headed out you were chattering around doing your thing, and I take a little bit more time to prepare. So I did a little bit of putting over there, and then I went to the putting green out behind the clubhouse a little bit, and I was putting, and you came out, and you just looked at me, and I'm like, they're fast. They're fast. And soaking wet. They're fucking fast.
Blistering fast. So
Like fast, like we talk about how fast Desert Bloom was. They were as fast or faster than Desert Bloom is when Desert Bloom is
dry.
like super dry, and these guys were soaking wet.
It was definitely like putting on concrete.
It was
And again,
crazy, man.
for hacker golfers like us, it was going to be a challenge that day. Anyways, to just try to get the feel and the vibe of the golf course in, right? Because
Oh,
you're at Mickelson National, right? And you look out over the course and it looks just spectacular, even in the conditions.
yep.
But I didn't get any putting in. I really didn't. Came out and watched you for a little bit, kind of got an idea of what was happening, and I was like, okay, I was a little not overwhelmed, but I was still a little put off by the weather, because I don't perform that well in
Yeah, yeah.
adverse conditions, right? So I was really trying.
But you had your rain gear this time.
I did have my rain gear this time. I was getting my mind set to go and play in these type of conditions, right? So I was just kind of milling around, just not getting too deep into anything. So then we head out to our tees. So you started on number 11.
Yeah, we were group 11A, and you
we
were
12B.
yeah. So we were chasing you all day.
Yeah, so you were right behind us all day. So started on hole number 12. So it was raining at that point.
Yeah.
It was I was wet. Let's just say, even with the rain gear on, there was no hiding it. I was wet. So started on number 12. So a very auspicious start for me on 12. So I get to tee off first in our group. So I get up, set up. I've got my rain gear on. I hit my first drive about 15 feet. And I was like, oh, shit. That's how we're going to start? And again, it was first shot of the day. I can't let it bother me, even though I really wanted to just eat my driver at that point. So the other guys tee off. We go to my ball. I shit shank my next shot. Like, I just totally duff it. And I'm like, wow, Alvin, can you just put the ball in play? Just put it up the fairway, and let's go from there. So I hit a good 3-wood after that. Hit my next shot up close to the green. So I'm at 4, 5. I'm not even on the green yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm taking my 5th shot onto the green. I hit the green and proceed to 3-putt to take a solid triple on the first hole.
The quad, you mean?
No, I took it as 7.
Okay, so you were on in 4 then.
On and 4 and triple.
Yeah,
3-putted. So I took a 7 on the first hole. So I'm way behind the 8 ball right off the bat. And I was like, but it's the first hole. You got it in. And the guys I was playing with was like, yeah, it's just the first hole.
And to be fair, the weather at that time when we teed off was like extremely bad.
It was bad. And one of the guys that was in our group, he quadded that hole. So I didn't feel so bad. So I was like, all right, here we go. What'd you do on 11?
I took a 5 hybrid off the tee. So 11 was a par 5. I took a 5 hybrid off the tee, hit it well, didn't go anywhere, ended up on the fairway, like, I don't know, maybe 150 yards out there. So I grabbed a 6-iron, I hit a ball, I hit it down the right side of the fairway. I got a bounce into the fescue on the right side, and it should have been like a foot in. Could not find it. Had to take a drop. Hit 4 up beside the green, chipped on 5, and then proceeded to also 3-putt and take a triple to start. So that was cool. So in our group, we had 2 triples and 2 bogeys to start.
I think we had a quad, a triple, and a bogey, because there's only 3 of us in our group.
Yeah.
But so then get up to number 13. It's a par 4. Again, same thing. I was right off the tee box. Took me 3 to get on, and for the second hole in a row, I 3-putt for a double. So I start triple, double, first 2 holes.
Yeah, and I number 12, I hit a perfect ball right up the fairway, right to the center of the fairway, 150 yards out. Thank God we were playing clean lift in place.
I never really took advantage of that
because I was literally in a fucking puddle. Like, I was like, if I had to hit this where it would fucking suck. It still sucked, but I mean, so I cleaned it, I placed it back where it was, And I remember taking my practice swing behind the ball, and I looked down as I was getting up to it, and I'm like, so make sure you keep your fucking face down on the ball and swing through, because it's gonna get wet. Because I'm just it's standing like in an inch of water, and I'm like, it's gonna fucking splash up. So I made a really good shot, just missed my birdie putt, tapped in for par. I'm 3 over through two. I'm happy. I'm like, okay, we're playing well. That's good. So we yeah.
So then I get up to 14. This is where I turn my game around a little bit because the weather started to kind of ease up a little bit
Yep.
at this point because we played probably 6, 8 holes in half decent weather,
Yep. Yep.
right? And this is where it kind of started. So hole number 14, par 4, fairway, green, 2-putt par.
Nice.
I'm like, decent. I'm all right. Back into it now because I'm 5 over through 3.
Yep.
Right? Good. Let's just rock and roll.
So I played 13 at fairway, just short, chipped on, 2-putted bogey.
So then I'm up to 15 par 3. What do you know? Alvinator hits the green, 2-putt par, back-to-back pars. So now I'm 5 over through 4.
Nice. 14 I hit fairway, hit green, and then 2-putted for par. And then you would have went to what, 16 after that?
I went to 16,
Yeah.
par 4. Hit the fairway, didn't hit the green, chipped on, 2-putt bogey. So I'm 6 over through 5.
So I played 15, which was my worst hole of the entire fucking tournament. And I remember getting up there and I'm like, I started with a triple. I've kind of reined it back in. Like I'm 4 over through 4. And I'm like, okay, I feel okay today. Like I feel like it's not going to be a blistering score to win our flight. Like I feel like if I can hang around that, I should be okay.
That was kind of my thought pattern too. Is like nobody's going to run away with this.
No.
So just maintain your composure, right?
Yeah. So I get up on 16 or 15, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's not it's not a terrible little par 3. I hit a 9-iron. I lost it just a little right, and I ended up in the bunker, up to the right of the green. Well, I get over there and I proceed to hit one of the worst sand shots I've hit in fucking months because I looked up before I even contacted the ball. And what happened? Well, I sculled the fucking ball into the water. So then I get over there, I fucking scull the ball into the water. So I got to take a drop, hit 4. So then I chip upwards to the green, end up on the fucking fringe, and then knock around a 3-putt for a fucking quad on a par 3. And this will become important in a little while. So yeah, I took a quad there, which promptly put me at 8 over through 5.
And that was hole 15?
That was hole 15.
Okay. So I went to hole 16, par 4. I already did 16.
Yeah.
So I'm on the hole 17 now. So again, par 3. Hit the green, 2-putt par. I'm back to bogey golf at this point.
Yeah.
So through 6, I'm 6 over. After starting 5 over. So I had a really good stretch there, 1 over in 4 holes. And my confidence started to change a little bit. So I'm like, okay, decent shape now. You're back to bogey golf. Just maintain this. Just maintain bogey golf.
Yeah, and for you in the D flight, that's all you need because
Yeah.
it takes your handicap into effect,
Exactly.
whereas every other flight is just stroke play, right?
So I'm like, just maintain now.
So I go to 16. I hit the fairway, and then so this was one of the drivable shorter ones, right? So I made the smart play. I think I hit a 9-iron or something, or an 8-iron, and because of the elevation change, I had like 50 yards left. It was something stupid, and so I get up there. And I'm in like the soggiest fucking area again of the fairway. Like they have a major drainage issue there, but we'll discuss this after. But anyways, I get up there, I get a wedge in my hand, and I'm like, okay, just chip on. And I mean, try and get a birdie, a par, or at worst a bogey. Well, I fucking take the biggest fucking beaver tail underneath this ball. It goes like 10 feet in front of me. So then I chip on, got a long fucking putt. Don't make it, sail by about 3.5, 4 feet, miss that one, and 3-putt for a fucking double.
So I move on to the 18th hole, which is par five.
Yep.
I put myself out of shape off the tee box, and I kind of knocked it around, got it on in five, two putted for a double. So now I'm 8 over through seven. I was like, okay, you're still there. This didn't kill you, so just move on from the hole type thing. I struggled on the par fives, but was really solid on the par threes, which is a total turnaround for how I played.
That's completely opposite for you.
So
I played 17, which is the par three. Everybody hit the green, and then I hit a 9, which should have never went as far as it did for me. Like I ended up off the back of that green, and a 9-iron was like middle of the green at absolute most. And so, anyways, I chipped on, I two putted, I made my bogey, I walk away, and then I'm heading to 18, which you had just played.
Yep.
I played the smart play. I put a 6 or what did I do? Oh, I hit a hybrid. I think out into the fairway. Like I hit a lot of fairways because I had a game plan going in and I stuck to it. I hit the fairway. My next shot, I pulled it a little right into the fescue. I tried to hit my approach shot in. I put it in the water. Fucking chipped to the end, and then I missed that putt. And then I made the next one and follow you up with a double bogey as well on that hole. So I remember going around the corner because Leah's in there in the cart, and she's like, "That was a really nice putt you made." I'm like, "Yeah, for 7." I was like, "It's a really good putt." It was like a 6-footer, but like I was not happy at that point because I mean I was 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10. I was 13 over through 8 holes. 13 over. And I was not a happy camper because I was like, this is not how I've been playing lately. It just like I've been playing so well. I was executing on my game plan because I didn't bring out my driver. I didn't hit any 3-wood. It was 5-wood once in a while, but keep it lower in the bag and hit the fairways. That was my game plan going in, and I was executing on that, and it just felt like I really wasn't getting anywhere. So you played number 1 next.
So then I went and played number 1, par 4. Missed my drive out to the right a little bit. Took me 3 to get on, 2 putted, got out of that one with a bogey. Stress-free kind of thing. I'll take the bogey and get out of there, right?
Yep. I played 1 at fairway green 3-putt for a bogey. So just carrying on.
So number 2, when I played it, par 4, same thing. I hit the fairway, missed the green, chipped on 2-putt bogey. Back-to-back bogeys.
Yeah, I also bogeyed number 2. I was left. I missed the fairway. That's the one that's narrow, right? Yeah, I ended up left in the fescue. I hit my ball, just ended up short, chipped on, and then two putted to get a bogey to walk away. And I'm like, that's good. Let's get the hell out of here.
Hole number 3 is par 3. I took a triple on that one. I knocked it around a little bit. Only 2 putted, but
that was your tough hole.
That was a tough hole for me to take a triple on. As I was playing okay, and I was trying to keep it into the bogey area. That one put me a little bit outside of where I needed to be.
Yeah.
So I had some work to do after that one.
Yeah, I hit the green on that one, 2 putted for a par. I just ended up with a nice 2-putt par on that number 3.
So then I played number 4, which was par 5, hit the fairway, and then I knocked this one around as well, and 2 putted for a double. So back-to-back doubles was starting to put me out of the reach that I really needed to be.
Yeah, I went left off the missed the fairway on 4, but I managed to get on in regular. I had a green, and then I 2 putted for back-to-back pars, which was nice. So kind of trying to clean my card up a little bit.
Hole number 5, par 4, fairway green 2-putt par.
Nice.
So I parred that one, and I'm like, you needed that. So again, I was in good. I was still a little over where I needed to be, but that par was like, Alvin, you could still do this. You could still play the game. So
yeah, so that was number 5.
Yeah.
So I went right, and then I ended up getting on in 3, 2 putting for a bogey, which was fine. So far through the front, I was 3 over through 5. So way better than what I was doing on the backside.
Then we get to number 6, which is a par 4. This one was a killer. This one put me outside of where I wanted to be totally, and it was going to be a long haul to get me back to where I wanted to be. I hit the fairway, but after the fairway, I just knocked it around. I 3-putted and came out of that one with a quad.
Oof.
So that one was a tough one.
That's the one. Oh yeah, I know which one that is. So that was number 6.
Yeah.
That was 390 yards too. That's a long one. I hit the fairway on that one. I hit the green, and I ended up with a 2 putt for another par. So that was nice. And then we go to 7, which is the next drivable one to only 240 yards.
Yep.
So what did you do on that one?
So I was a little left off the tee, but I managed to put it on the. I hit a really good hybrid out of the first cut.
Nice.
Put it on the green, 2 put it. I got a par, which was a great bounce back from the quad previous.
Absolutely.
So again, good frame of mind. I was like, okay, Alvin, you just keep hanging around, man. Just keep hanging around.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe something can happen here, right?
I overdrew my 5 hybrid off the tee on that one because I wanted to be on the upper road and ended up in the fescue. Found it, just missed the green, chipped on, just missed my par, made my bogey, and then yeah, moving on to number 8, which is another par 3, short par 3. This one.
This was a short par 3. I hit the green and I 3-putted.
The dreaded hit the green and 3-putt.
3-putt. So I came out of that one with the bogey. So I got disappointed with the 3-putt, but again, if I'm taking bogeys, I'm okay. But I had some ground to make up, so that was kind of like a lost hole for me.
Yep.
If that makes sense, because the quad, a couple of the back-to-back doubles, it was like that par would have been a big help. So I was disappointed that I came out of that with a 3-putt.
8 when we played 8, we were throwing darts. 3, like I was the last one to tee off in the group because I think everybody else parred the last hole. So I was the last one to tee off, and Tyler teed off first, and he thought he got almost a hole in one because it looked really good from where we were. And then Andrew teed off, and he hit another dart, and then Reese's just came up just short, and then I hit mine, and it was an absolute laser at the flag. So we had 3 that were well within birdie range. I mean, sad to say, I missed my birdie, and the 2 other guys on the green made their birdies to screw themselves over for a good old snip. So all good. So yeah, I had a par there. So I mean, through 8 on the front, I was 4 over, which was, I mean, a far cry from what I did to start the day.
So number 9, par 5. I went fairway to green.
3-putt?
No.
Oh.
Quad. 4-putt.
Oh my God.
For a double.
Oh.
That was kind of a nail in the coffin for me. I was probably a little demoralized after that one because I missed a short putt for
5 or 6
for the 6, and had to take a 7 with a 4-putt. I had my 3-putt. My 3-putt was gimme territory.
Yeah. But
I had to make it, and I just when I stood over the ball, I wasn't there. I was truly disappointed at that one. So I had to take the 4-putt for a double.
Oofta.
Which was, again, continuing to put myself kind of out of where I need to be.
Yeah.
But still in a good frame of mind of playing, trying to get through the golf course.
Well, I mean, we played 9, and everybody's waiting for you guys because you guys were like 230, 240 up, and the 3 guys I was playing with hit pretty good drivers. Like, they were pretty consistent. I mean, I didn't hit a single driver on the day just because I don't have that consistency, nor do I have my faith in my driver. So I just said, you know what, I'm going to play 6-iron out to the open spot, put it on the fairway, which is what I did. And then I hit an 8-iron, absolutely blasted it, hit a perfect 8-iron, which left me 75 yards, which is a full 62 for me. Hit a beautiful 62, just missed my birdie putt, tapped in for par, finished the front 9 at 4 over, which ended up being the best front 9 in my flight. And I was like, okay, now we're playing some golf with 1 hole left to go.
2.
Well, 1 for me, 2
1
for you.
2 for me.
Yeah.
So when I get up to the tee box on number 10,
yeah,
the fucking skies opened up.
Yeah.
And when I say opened up,
I have a video it'll be posted by the time you guys see this. I literally was standing on that tee box, and you guys were going up the fairway, and I took a video. I'm like, this is fucking crazy.
So, and the crazy part, like, I was drenched. I had my rain gear on, but I was a drowned rat.
Yep.
I couldn't see anything because my glasses were covered with rain. I couldn't see where my ball was going to go. I couldn't see anything. All I did was got over the ball and hit it. And I pounded it up the fairway and came up short of that center bunker on number 10.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So I'm like in great shape. So I get up to it. I club up because I'm like, the ball's not going to go anywhere. So I'm like, I would have hit like a 7-iron, but I went 2 hybrids up. So I didn't go to my mid hybrid. I went to my next one.
Yeah.
So my Cobra, and plopped it right on the green. I was like, and one of the guys we were with, Russell, was like, that was a really good shot. I'm like, I can't even see it, Russell. I don't even know where it went. He goes, oh, you're close. So I go up, and it's actually in birdie territory.
Nice.
I'm like 2.5 feet away, but the green is torrentially, like, it's wet.
Oh yeah, so we found that out after. We'll talk about that.
I hit mine. It would have made it, but I was offline a little bit, so I tapped in. So I parred the number 10 in the torrential downpour, and I was like, one fucking hole to go, Alv. You're okay.
Yeah.
If you can get through this next hole, like, at worst, double bogey, you're going to be in the mid 90s. Take your handicap. You'll be in play.
Yep.
For at least finishing in the top, I don't know,
8.
Top 8 maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe inside top 10 would have been nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So with one hole to go. So you played number
10 was our last hole.
10 was your last hole.
Yeah, so we were on the tee box when it we actually had just gotten off 18 when that storm came, and we were kind of, because we were, all 4 of us were walking, you guys were karting, and we so we had our umbrellas down and everything because it had turned out to be not so bad. So we got our umbrellas back on, threw back on our rain gear as we're getting a drowned rat coming by, and I think Leah leans over the balcony and she's like, how do you guys like Mickelson? And I'm like, I don't think you're going to let me and Alvin play anymore because we always bring the rain with us.
That was kind of, there were some messages that went back and forth afterwards about that.
Yeah. So we get up to the tee box on 10. I hit, what did I hit? I feel like I hit a 6-iron off the tee there. And I put it right into the gaggle of geese that was like basically just short of that center bunker as well. And I get up there, another wet spot just around the drainage area. I'm like, well, I was like, it should be a gap wedge. I'm like, you know what? The way I've been hitting it today, I'm going to hit a gap wedge. And at this time, we had no idea what the green looked like. So I hit a gap wedge. And you can't see it because where I was below. I was like, well, it looks like it's online. Should be okay. So I'm going up the hill, and Andrew looks over at me, and he's like, that was a really good shot. I'm like, okay, thank you. And I get up there and I see 2 white balls, and one's like a foot away from the hole and another one's off the back end. I'm like, which one are you? And he's like, you're the one that's really close. And I'm like, oh shit. I was like, that's like kicking birdie territory. And I look at the green and I'm like, holy fuck, this thing's a fucking lake. Like, what is happening up here? Like literal water. So I mark my ball, and Andrew, I think, was the furthest away. He goes to putt and he hammers it, and it goes into the water and just a couple of rotations, full stop. I'm like, oh my god. So he proceeds to, I think he 3-putted because he's like, I need to go get a beer because he was just done for the day. And then I think Tyler ended up over there, and he 2-putted for a par because he had a putt, but it was through the water, and he just missed it for his birdie. So, and that actually would have given him the win because he ended up in a playoff and lost in the second hole of the playoff in our flight. So anyways, I kick in my birdie, get a kick in birdie, my round's over. So you have one more hole to play.
Yes. So get up to number 11. Par 5. And it's, I mean, I'm soaked. Every glove I have is wet. Every ounce of clothing I have is wet.
I had nothing left that was dry.
And because of the par, I get to tee off first. So I stand over the ball, and I literally, there's a river running off my jacket. I hit the ball, and I almost lost my driver out of my hands. The only thing that kept my driver close to my body was 2 fingers on my left hand. I lost the driver totally, and it went one-handed up over my head, the worst swing you could ever possibly have, and it duck slices to the right. It didn't go OB, but it wasn't in any shape to score on that hole. So I'm like a little choked here. So we found it, and it was buried. It was buried. And I'm like, well, I'm going to try and hit it out of here and get it to the fairway. So I took an iron. I took a 7-iron and just tried to get the 7-iron to it. All I did was bury it in the grass. So now you can barely see it. So I'm like, well, I don't want to hit it out of here. So I took it unplayable. 2 club links back, took the drop. So now I'm hitting 1, 2,
4.
So this is 4. Was this my 4th shot or 5th one?
This is your 4th shot.
This would have been my. So I take my 3 wood off of the hill and proceed to put that one out of bounds. Ducks. So then we went up and I had to take a drop. So then I take a drop and I hit it up. And again, this hole, I can't even remember a lot of what went on. I'm not going to lie to you, because I was panicking. Absolutely panicking on this hole. It's like, I can't get the ball forward. What's happening here right now, right? So,
how many did it take you to get on?
It took me 8 to get on.
Whew.
2 penalty strokes. So 6 shots, 2 penalty strokes. So I was on an 8.
Oofta.
And 3 putted.
Oofta.
I finished with an 11.
And that's the first time you've ever written an 11
That
down.
is the first time I've ever written an 11 on a scorecard. Even beginning golfing, no time in my life can I ever remember writing an 11 down. And that put me to 100 for the day.
Yeah, and
if I could have managed that semi-decently, I would have got out of there maybe with a 96.
So 100 is 28 over.
Yep.
So with your handicap, I think you were plus 13, right?
Yeah.
So I went in, I did my scorecard check because Tyler and I had scorecards. He ended up with a plus 13, and he ended up in the playoff in the C flight. So I do up my card, blah blah blah, whatever, and we hand him in. I end up at plus 1688. And I'm looking back and I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? A fucking quad on a par 3 absolutely ruined my chances. And like, I didn't play terrible outside of a couple shots. Like, for that kind of weather, I played the front 9 almost immaculately at 4 over, which is ridiculous. I just got off to such a poor start and put myself behind the 8 ball, as I sometimes do. And then I'm really good at chasing myself down typically. Yep. And that's what I had to do, right? So if I wouldn't have given such a lead away, because I had a funny feeling when I started with that group, looking at the guys that were in it, I'm like, it's likely that someone that's potentially gonna win could come from that group with the 3 guys that Leah put me with. So I remember, I seen you in the parking lot, or I seen you pull up, and I'm like, well, how'd you do? And you're like, well, I shot 100, and you're like, how'd you do? And I'm like, I shot plus 16, and you're like,
I was like, how the fuck did you do that today? Like, in these conditions, and I thought that was a fantastic score for you in the conditions of the day. And then when I heard about your start and that quad, I was like, and she still finished fucking plus 16?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
It was actually, I mean, after having to have a couple days to think about it now, it's been, that's golf, right? Like, sometimes you just miss a shot, or you lose focus for a second, and it's a game that you lose focus for any length of time, and you'll get cratered on a hole, or you're at a couple strokes or whatever, right?
The weather distracted me.
Yeah.
It really got in my kitchen, especially after that drive, and I'm like, I don't know how to get in these conditions. I don't know how to get through this par 5, right? And it showed with scoring an 11. But, and again, on the day, I was not happy. Like, I was.
You were pretty grumpy.
I was grumpy, yes, because I had to put an 11 on a scorecard in a tournament, and I don't care what my handicap is or what flight I'm playing in. I didn't like doing that. That was probably one of the hardest boxes I've ever had to check.
Well, rating a 7 on a par 3 was not any better.
So, and I realized that it took me out of probably a top 10 finish.
Yep.
And it actually gave you the season points lead in the AGT.
Yeah, because you only got like 60 some odd points for your finish, and I got like 160 some odd. So I ended up beating you by what, like 30 or 25 or something.
So in the standings right now, you're above me in the standings, and that hurts as well, especially with that hole. Well, that really one hole, the last hole, took that away from me.
Yeah.
Again, it's just disheartening, painful, and I'm past it now because we have to have a quick turnaround here, and that mind frame has to go away. And
we're a couple days away from our club championship here, and we got to get refocused and ready to rock here. I'm not
really worried. That's done and gone. And again, this is the mental part of the game that I've been really trying to be working on. That's gone and done. There's nothing I could do about it. You have the points lead in the HET, but when it comes up to head to head, I have a W, you have a W, and we have a tie.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, it was
one in the year. You got the points lead because again, I did so bad on one fucking hole.
I don't
But that's
think
golf too, right?
I think it was a good season in that way, right? Like for our first season on the AGT, I mean, for you to win one event, kind of in an actual head-to-head, because you were in the same flight in that one.
We were in the same
and and for me to kind of have a victory in one, and for us to tie in one is
so,
about perfect, right?
So again, like in Desert Bloom, I was in second place.
Yeah.
In the C flight.
Absolutely.
I'll take a second place finish in my first event, 1 point away because it was stable for rules. 1 point away from a W in my first event.
Yeah, and I was 2 away.
But take that for what it was, right? Like that hooked me into this, and it just sucks that Strathmore got rained out.
Yep.
And Mickelson National was such poor conditions because I want to play on this tour
when it's nice, and play your best,
because
right?
I think when it's nice, I fucking play my best, right? You
yes.
know, like the weather's not distracting you. You go and because I'll tell you, my focus through that round, even through the good and bad holes, my focus was there until the last one, and that just.
I mean, if you look at like where you placed second at Desert Bloom, it was beautiful conditions. Yep. I mean, that played a big.
And I played
part,
a really
right?
good round. I shot an 87 that day.
100%. So you played well.
I played really well. So,
it's just interesting that, I mean, I'm looking forward to next year on the tour. Like, we had our different experiences here, and I mean, kudos to Mickelson. They gave Lee a bunch of golf passes to hand out to us because they felt bad about us having to play in the crappy weather.
They wanted us to experience the course in decent conditions. So
and we talk about long rounds. Well, that was a 6-hour round, but that was all weather related.
All weather.
Because we were right behind you guys and we were walking. And it wasn't like anybody. Maybe the group in front of you guys was a little bit slower, but we
had to wait a little bit.
We weren't really dogging it, and it was a 6-hour round. Yeah. I feel like that was a lot weather induced. I mean, overall, my thoughts of Mickelson, like nice clubhouse, nice launch pad, driving range area. I mean, the carts looked awesome. I mean, I don't know. I didn't drive in them, so I don't really care.
They were pretty sweet.
The course layout is cool. I gotta say they got some major drainage issues. I don't care how much rain you got. Like the course should not hold water right beside the drains without draining. So they got a problem there that they got to figure out. I mean, they're going private next year. Like if I'm paying $30,000 or $40,000, which it is to have a membership there, and that's how that course is gonna be, it's kind of crazy. And then I had some grief with the greens, not because of the speed. But some of the greens were so pockmarked, and they would bounce when you would putt. Like it was, I'm like, if you're coming here and you're paying to play a premier golf course, I expect the best. I mean, maybe that's just me being an asshole, but I expect the best. I don't want to go there and just feel like I'm putting on a second class fucking green or playing on a second class course. So the layout was cool. I liked the design of the course. I liked. The walk was nice. I mean, I really do like the layout of the course as a whole. But I mean, they just got a couple things that I think that if they tuned up, that's a pretty nice shiny project out there.
The greens could have been because they couldn't get at them because of the weather for the 2 days.
That's fair. Right? That's true.
So I could get over that. But again, the water issues weren't really prevalent for me until the last 2 holes of the big downpour. Because there was so much rain that fell in such a short period of time.
Yes.
That
I just ended up in the water all the time.
The greens couldn't cope. I mean, we were on the last hole when I was blowing my hole up, and Blair was literally squeegeeing the green with his putter to make a lane for his ball. So, and you take that for what it is. But personally, like,
I'd love to play there when it's nice.
I really want to play there when it's nice too. So. I do believe AGT has secured Mickelson National next year for an event.
The Tuesday after the August long weekend again.
So,
it is what she said. So we're going to be marking that one, and we're going to be going again.
We will be going back, and we might even go up a day earlier so that we can get our free round in the day before.
It's not a bad idea.
Play a practice round the day before. Play Mickelson National the day after.
It's not a bad idea. I like that idea. So, I bet you there'll be a few people that do that probably.
Yeah. So and again, we will be slotting this one in our calendar next year because it'll be worth the trip
all,
again.
all in all, I mean, it sucks that the weather was shitty, but I mean,
It's,
it's out of our control, and I mean, you know,
again, I take the golf game out of it. I like the course, right? I like the bunkers. The bunkers had really nice sand in them.
yep.
I didn't mind the greens so much. Um, the layout was cool. For me, I was just trying to get the experience and play, so I wasn't really focused on a lot of the details going through. Because again, we talk about focus, but I would love to play that. I would love to play that round, a casual round from the same tee boxes,
Yeah, deck
a
four.
casual round, um, just in better conditions,
And just see what we could
just
play.
to see what we can play.
Yeah, and I mean, it's funny because the rain kind of wreaked havoc a little bit because we had the Golf Logic books, right? Like on the back nine, I didn't even look at mine because it was fucking pouring rain,
Yeah,
and I'm like, I don't even want to waste my time right now. Like, I want to stay warm.
True. Like I think, like, yeah, I didn't look at it for the last two holes, and I didn't look at it in the beginning when it was raining either, because it's just like I knew I was clubbing up every hole to approach greens. I was like, yeah,
I'll tell you what though, when we made the turn and it kind of got lighter, and I actually started looking at it when I had time to look over my ball, and it wasn't the only thing it really helped me on was approach shots, which is huge because I mean when I got my wedges in my hand, I'm usually pretty good, but I found that when I would look at it, it would be like if I landed here, it should funnel towards the hole. And I mean, I was playing with a couple guys who played there last year, and you could tell on a couple holes where they put the ball and funnel right back to the hole. And I'm like,
agreed.
oh, you've played here before.
Yeah.
I definitely. So I mean, and then the other thing was a couple times I looked at the putt and I looked at it, and I'm like, it's breaking that way, right? Because like I swear it's breaking that way. And I look at the putt grid or the heat map or whatever, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it is breaking that way. Okay, yeah, just to confirm.
yeah. It was just a nice tool to have.
Yeah, and I think
When
because we're not super familiar with it,
Yeah.
like the more we would play with one, I think the better we'd get with them. But it was useful.
Overall, for me, fantastic experience. Weather kind of sucked, which put a little bit of a damper on it. And for me now, it is what it is. That's done and over with. Our 3 events on the EGT are done this year.
Yeah,
Our tour is over for the season.
yeah. Best of luck to anybody that's going to the Tour Championship in a couple weeks out at Kimberley.
So, and I know you did a video earlier, thanking. So, let me do my little spiel here now.
Yeah, you bet.
So, this year on the AGT, our first year, personally, I'd like to thank Leah, president of the AGT, for being so welcoming. Even though she did threaten us that next year, if we bring some more rain, we might get punted off this tour, because apparently they don't get rain unless we're there.
Apparently, it's drought conditions, according to her.
But thanks, Leah, for a great first season, a great introduction to tour golf. I had a blast. It was such a great experience. Even the shitty experiences were an experience. And I can't wait to come back and see you next year. We'll try to get you on the pod over the winter to do a recap of the season with us so we can chat a little bit. But thanks a lot to everybody on the tour, everybody that helps out with the tour, and AGT. What a fantastic season. If you're listening to this podcast and you're in the area and this is something that you've been thinking about, or you want a next level to your golf game, sign up for the AGT. Come out and see us. Come out and see Leah and all the people there, because there's some really fine people on this tour. We've made some friends, even in the 3 events we've been to, that are with us now for forever. Because if they stay on the tour, we stay on the tour. We'll see each other, a few times throughout the year. So thanks a lot. I totally look forward to seeing you next year and participating in more events.
Yeah, it's it was one of the highlights of the summer of golf for us.
This was what we fit Strathmore in. It just sucks that it got rained out. But because Desert Bloom was so enjoyable and so much fun, we needed to get one in before Mickelson, and Strathmore was a day trip, so it was like, yeah, let's do that one.
Hey, speaking of, I know that the AGT has trouble sometimes playing events in the South. I got a solution for you, Leah, if you're listening. So if you do 2 events here on a Saturday and Sunday, like let's say Medicine Hat Golf and Country in Desert Bloom, I bet you get more people down, and we can get it advertised down here. More people will come down to play, and I bet you could get more draw. Because I know that's one of the crappy things about trying to play down in the south is you don't get as much of a draw.
Again, it's for people in Edmonton, it's quite a trek. But in reverse,
Yeah,
it's quite a trek for us to go to Edmonton and play too.
that's right. I mean, we're not really located in the central like a lot of people, right? But I honestly think if you came down to the Hat and you were to give an attempt at two single day events at two different golf courses, I think you'd get a relatively good turnout.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when we were like looking back now on the Desert Bloom event, nobody advertised that AGT was coming here.
Nope.
Nobody knew about it. We were telling people, and they're like, "What? What's that?" And like nobody knew what was happening.
We were
right?
trying to get some of our pals in there as well. And,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't bite.
But I mean, if you come and play, like I feel like if they played like somewhere like Medicine Hat, you get a lot of people that would play.
Maybe.
I bet.
I'd like to see more of our friends play now
100%.
because we've already talked about it, and we won't get delved too much into it this pod. But our tour is going to change a little bit next year.
We might only make the odd.
We might be the part-time guys on our tour next year.
Yeah, we might be the just show up for the majors kind of guys, possibly.
Yeah,
that might be us. It might be Tiger just resting at home, coming out for the majors.
We'll when the schedule comes out in the new year for the AGT, we're going to take a serious look at what events we want to go to, what events we can make. I'd really like to do a major.
Oh, at least one, and the Tour Championship has got to be on the docket.
Again, funds dictating.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to go do the Tour Championship as well, but at least get a major in some of the other events. And I do hope that they make an effort to come down this way again. But again, Strathmore's not that far away.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots in Calgary and Edmonton area. I mean, I totally get the logistics of trying to run 100%. A tour. It's not easy. I mean, we don't do it anywhere near to the basis that Leah does, and I mean, we have our own hiccups doing our shit, and we're local, so it's again, like, come on now. We
used to travel in our first 2 years, and then we just stopped the travel altogether.
Yeah.
Again, it is too hard to wrangle people to go out of town on a certain day, right?
Yeah, it can be difficult sometimes. So I mean, but overall, really love the experience.
Well, again, here we are. Let's just take a step back here now. So this is our 4th year playing golf. We got on this amateur tour this year, and it was a great experience. So this is our 4th. Where are we going to be in 3 years? What are we going to be doing in 3 years? Who knows, right? Like,
I don't know, man. I mean, we were talking about it on the way home, right? Like, our golf games are kind of going in different directions at the moment because my handicap is just about down to an 11. Like I'm an 11.4 right now, and you're kind of heading upwards.
I went from a 14.1 to when I put my scorecards in for the last month, which I have not played well, and put in Mickelson National 100. I went from 14.1 to 16. But I'm not totally discouraged because again, you have in hindsight, couple days in hindsight here, like I hit some really good. I had 6 pars at Mickelson.
Yeah. I mean, it was just a couple bad shots here or there.
I parred 6 holes at Mickelson with relative ease. Green 2 putts, fairway green 2 putts, par 3s, hit the green 2 putts. I had a couple of birdie oppos in there, but so I'm taking that out of that, going okay. I'm not worried too much about my handicap right now because the game there's some stuff in the game that I got to figure out. I really want to get that putting stroke out to the course this weekend.
Yeah, I want to see it because I think it's gonna, like when we were practicing in the hotel and I was showing you some of the stuff because you got a putting mirror and I do a lot of putting with my putting mirror and different things and I spent a lot of time putting. So I was trying to help you out a little bit with yours and just saying, like, I was watching you, I'm like, well, you're not lined up center, you got a slightly closed or open face, and you're like, do I? And then you kind of figured that out, and then you change your stroke a little bit because you're like, because I was like, well, sometimes I'll mess around and I'll try like the claw or different things, and I'm like, I just piss around with it to see, and I'm like, but this is my go-to putting stroke. I'll tell you what, once you switch to that double thumb and right hand low, it was center straight just about every single ball.
Dude, I was down putting last night downstairs in the hallway.
Yeah,
because I can, and like that putting stroke is it. And I moved my ball launcher for the hole that I have.
Yep.
Up and down the hallway to long and short.
Yeah.
And
didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
You have better pace control too, right?
100% better pace control. So again, these are things that I'm building on.
Yeah.
My iron play has has been better lately. I know my handicap isn't showing it, and that's why I'm not too worried about that right now.
I mean, my hope is just to get it. Like I'm still, my goal is still before the season ends to try and drag it down to a single digit. It's going to be tough because now at 11.4, it's going to be tough to get it under 10. I mean, I'm close, so I want to maintain where I'm at here and then try and drag it down. And I mean, the other goal I have is, I mean, I'm very, very close to breaking 80 at Medicine Hat.
Yeah, you are.
I wanna get at least one of those rounds where I can break 80. If I can get one or two of those this weekend, that'd be fucking excellent. Because that would put me in good space. I mean, we're not gonna win the club championship. Let's not kid ourselves. Kelly's gonna win that. Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, if we can go out and just have fun and shoot well, because there's 6 different flights based upon your handicaps or whatever it is. I mean, I would be ecstatic if I can go out there and blade down 2 great rounds. I don't even care after that.
And I just want to go. I just want to go play because again, I'm going to go play in the club championship. That is what it is. But again, I'm just going to go work on my game.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm going to go play 2 rounds and try and build off of some of the positives that I've had in the last week. And there has been some positives.
The scores might not have dictated, but like I've said to you, like you even at Strathmore. Like we were talking about it on the drive into Calgary, and it's like, don't worry about the score. You hit a lot of really good shots in that round.
Yep.
The score might not dictate that, but that's fine. But you got to take the positives out of it, right? So I can see your mindset starting to flip a little bit. You're kind of starting to embrace kind of the way I think about a round. It's like, the end score is not always indicative of the result of your round.
Well, again, because this is like August, and August is a busy month for us.
Yeah.
We were talking about it like we came down on Tuesday evening, right? We're playing a club championship Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of turnaround time to keep your mind in a negative place.
Yeah, well, and I mean today we couldn't even get a round in because there's a tournament out there. We couldn't practice because they got the facilities closed. So I mean tomorrow is like your only practice day. We don't even have our tee times yet for the weekend. Yeah, so I think we won't get those till tomorrow or till the Friday, which is tomorrow. And I mean,
I'm gonna go hit the driving range for an hour tomorrow.
Yeah, I got some work I gotta get done after work tomorrow. Hopefully shouldn't take me too long, and then I might rip out and hit some balls. But I was working tonight in the backyard with my. I got a little. I
still got all my clubs out drying off from.
Yeah, I did that too. I just put them back in today. I got one of those Skill Pros with like it sits like this, and then it's got like the foam pylons for your swing plane. And I was out in my backyard today. Like, I know I couldn't hit balls, but I was just working on my swing plane to try and figure out what was causing to get away from the snap hook and not getting inside to outside. Instead of going outside in, which causes your slice, I go outside or inside to outside, which causes a massive hook, right? And I was trying to work on that with those pylons to allow to let me know if I knock that pylon, I know I'm in the wrong area. So I was working on that tonight. So I don't know if we'll see if that'll make a difference this weekend. It's kind of been an up and down thing. I don't know how much driver I'll hit. I mean, a couple par 5s maybe. And that's
do you really need to?
And I don't know, man. Like we go through this every year. I feel like it's a broken record for me. Like early in the season, I really wanted to get that driver because it can be a game changer if I can hit it. But at this point in time, I mean, Mickelson again showed me that you don't have to hit your driver to compete with anyone. I mean, I missed out because of a couple poor shots, and I was 3 strokes from being in a playoff with the golfers that fit my handicap, and I didn't hit a single driver. I hit 1 fairway metal. I hit a 5-wood on 1 tee. Otherwise, it was a 5 hybrid and lower. And those guys were crushing driver off of just about every tee box. So, I mean, if I can compete with them not having to hit driver, and I mean, as long as, like, I hit 10 fairways. 10 fucking fairways. That's unheard of for me.
For you it is, yeah. And again,
that's crazy.
That's a positive you have to take out of that and bring that into this weekend as well. Because, again, I tell you, I'm going around Medicine Hat, you don't need driver.
No.
Right?
And I mean, if I can stay in play on the fairway, with the length I have in the rest of my bag, I just need to be not in trouble.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's all I need to be. And I mean, that's a lesson that, I have it in my head. I don't want to get beat by my driver, but at the same time, it's like, if you're going to play a competitive round, what gives you the best chance to win. Sometimes you got to make sacrifices, right?
Again,
and for me,
that-
that's
for
going to
you,
be
the
leave
best
that in
chance,
there.
if you're playing in a comp and your best chance to win is to keep the driver in the bag.
100%, 100%.
And
And I
I
mean,
know it would be nice for you to be able to plunk it out there, 290, 300 yards in shape, but you're like 1 for 10 out of that.
oh
And
yeah,
those-
for
and those-
sure.
And those other 9 are not doing you any favors.
No, because typically they're adding a drop shot or a penalty stroke or whatever, right? And I mean, if you can get your putting to step up,
Well, that's the same
holy
thing on
boy,
the other side, right? If like my fairways are really good.
yeah. If you can start hitting some greens,
My greens and reg are getting better. If I can start honing in that putting
yep,
to either give me the opportunity for birdie or to nullify a double, I'm going to start scoring better.
yes, sir. I
So-
mean, it's and the thing about getting, I mean, not so much. It is about getting your handicap down, but about shooting better is it's not so much about shooting birdies. It's bogey avoidance.
Bogey avoidance.
That's what it is. That's
Yeah.
what it really comes down to.
Keeping
It's
the double squares off the card.
yeah, like I mean, you look at when we have our good rounds. There's very seldom double squares. There's there's a couple, but there's bogeys here and there because you're always going to get some bogey. Knowing when to eat a bogey, and just accept, hey, like I'm playing for bogey in this hole. That's what I got to get. That's where I've put myself at right now. And knowing when you have an opportunity to go for the par or the birdie and take your chance at it, and then moving on, right? It's just understanding how to play the holes. I mean, we're so much more comfortable at the hat because
Yep.
we've played so many rounds there.
Yep.
Like you can go down and we can play each hole a bunch of different ways and be confident and comfortable in how we're going to play them, right?
Okay,
So-
we've fucking chatted too much here now. We got to fucking wrap this up. But August is a busy month for us.
Yes, sir.
So we will have some guests coming up eventually here, but our next pod is probably going to be a recap of our club championship.
Yep. Yeah, our first ever club championship
First ever
we're playing.
club
That'll be
championship.
fun.
Then we have our Halo Mulligans and Hackers Tour Championship weekend coming up 2 weeks after that.
Yep.
And then we have a Purple Sombrero event coming up.
The weekend
Match
after
play
that.
the weekend after.
As long as everybody's around, yeah.
So, get used to hearing our voices talking about our golf for the next little while, but we will get some more guests.
Yeah, we
on
do.
the
We
pod.
do have some guests lined up.
We have some people lined up, and we'll get to them. And then once August is done and we're into September, we're winding down our season.
Yeah, frick, man, it's crazy. I was
And again, I don't want to get into it too much because we've already.
I was just
we're
sitting at
like-
home talking or thinking about it, and I'm like, man, volleyball season's gonna be starting and golf's gonna be ending. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Not. I don't like it. I want like another few months of golf.
Oh, I think we're going to try and hit a simulator league this winter.
Something, man. Something to keep our swings. I mean, I feel like we've done so much work getting our games to the way they are. And I mean, 2 years ago, or not this past year, but the year before, we did play in a simulator league, and it kind of did allowed us to get going faster.
Yeah.
And then this year we didn't, and it took a little bit time for our games to kind of get to where they needed to be. So I think if we play in a simulator league, I think that should help us.
Yeah, I agree. So there it is.
Yeah.
Episode 65, Mickelson National Recap.
Yeah, check out our socials for any of the videos we were talking about. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Check out Golf Logics on Instagram, Alberta Golf Tour on Instagram, TikTok,
Mickelson
National.
Instagram.
A lot of cool places we've got to experience and some cool stuff we've got to do on the tour and stuff. And we're just looking forward to doing more of those experiences.
Looking forward to next year already.
Yeah,
This season hasn't ended yet, but
that's crazy.
Anyways, take care, everyone.
Later.